Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Cricut Maker 3. I just received the Cricut Maker 3 and I'm really excited to put this to the test. The beauty of the Cricut Maker 3 over the original Cricut Maker is that it now can cut matless utilizing their smart materials. Their smart materials have a backing on them, and if you have a Cricut Joy, it's very similar to the Cricut Joy smart materials. It has a backing on it so that you don't have to use a mat. And what that means is that now you can cut one continuous cut up to, I think it's 12 feet long. And that is awesome if you're doing a long project or a sign or a wall hanging, something like that, that you don't want to necessarily have to break up into 12 or 24-inch segments like we did previously when we had to use a mat. So this is going to cut this rolled smart material in one continuous cut without a mat. So I'm going to walk through that in the video. I'm also going to be using the new Cricut roll holder for smart materials. This is just for the smart materials, and this is going to hook onto my machine. I'll show you in the video, but it's going to hook onto my machine and it's going to hold that smart vinyl in a roll so that I don't have this big long roll of vinyl sticking out of the front of the machine that I'm trying to wrestle with. So let me get things all set up. I'm not going to include the setup of the machine in this video. I will link Cricut's video in the description below. That walks you through the complete setup of a new machine. It's very, very simple. It takes about 5 minutes and it walks you through step by step by step. So without further ado, I'm going to get everything set up, turn the cameras around, and we're going to start our first project. So we're going to click on New Project. We're going to click on Upload, Upload Image, Browse. You're going to navigate to where you saved the image. Mine's right here. I'm looking for the file ending in .svg. I'm going to click Open. Here it is. I encourage you to use your tags. So I will put Welcome Home, Porch Sign, Home, Welcome. Anything that might help you find this image later. I'm going to click Upload. Here it is. It'll be the first project in your project bed, and we'll click Insert. So you can see when this design comes in, it comes in at 1.93 inches by 8.725 inches. We want it to be much bigger than that. I want to put this on like a 6-foot board. So I'm going to say that I want this to be, let's say 60 inches. That would be 5 feet tall. So I'm going to make sure that this is in the lock position right here. That means when I resize the height, it's going to automatically adjust the width so that it stays proportionate. So I'm going to type 60. And that's telling me that it's 13.314 inches wide. That's a little bit too wide. So let's change that to 12 and it's going to adjust the height again. Well, let's do 11.5. All right, so now we're at 51 inches. So that looks like about the biggest that I can go because I don't want to go any wider than the width of the smart material. So that's as big as we're going to go. And let me just scale down here a little bit by clicking this minus sign. And you can see it says, welcome to our home, the blank family. So I need to add the word Nunemaker in here. Again, I'm going to scale down a little bit so you can see. So we want Nunemaker to fit right inside there. So let's just type text. We're going to type the word Nunemaker. Click enter. And here is Nunemaker. Whoops. And I'm just going to move that down here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger by clicking and dragging. Again, I want to stay within that width. And you can make this in any font that you want. So I'm just going to stick with this, and that looks pretty good. We need to do one last thing before we send this to cut. We want to make sure that the design space knows that we don't want it to move anything around. We want it to stay exactly in the order that we have it. So in order to do that, we're going to click Select All. And we're going to click Attach. Don't click Weld, because if you click Weld, once you weld something, you can't unweld it after you've saved the file. If you click Attach, it still saves all of these layers so that the next time I pull this project up, I can just take out the word Nunemaker and put in the Smiths or the Jones or whatever the last name is, and not have to resize everything and do this all again. I can just change the name. Whereas if I click weld, and I'm just going to do it just to show you what happens. When you click weld, it takes everything and makes it into one layer. So I can no longer just go in and adjust this letter M or adjust the Nunemakers or any of that. So I'm going to click undo. I can still click undo as long as I haven't saved the file. Once you save the file, you cannot unweld something. So just keep that in mind. So we've got this attached. So let's click make it. And you can see it has everything into one design. This is 54 inches long. It's telling me I need a material size 13 inches by 54 inches. It's going to double check, make sure that that's what I do indeed have. And it fits within our boundaries. You see this red line? That's your boundary. You can't cut outside that red line. So we're just going to click continue. You're going to select your material. We are using the Smart Vinyl Removable. If you don't see the file that you want or the material that you want to use, you can simply click Browse All Materials here and you can find them. You do not have to use smart materials. You can use your regular vinyl, but you're going to have to use a mat. So keep that in mind. You aren't stuck to just using smart materials with the Cricut Maker 3. You can still use the Cricut Maker 3 exactly like you did with all your other previous Cricut, the Cricut Makers and the Cricut Explorers. You can use all of your original materials. You just have to use a mat with those. So we are using the removable vinyl. We're just going to stick with that. And we're going to leave everything as is. We're going to go ahead and get our material loaded. Okay, so here we are at the Cricut Maker. This tray, there's two little grooves right here. They hook right on to these two little lips. So it just sits on there really easily, snaps into place. You just got to line that up and that's into place. You're going to take your smart vinyl and you're going to have the roll going over the top. Place that down. And then you're going to slide it right under the little guide and it's going to come into your machine. Here we're going to line it up and load. Again, make sure that you've got enough room behind the machine for the vinyl to work its way through. So now it's pulling the vinyl all the way through to make sure that I've got enough material. Now it's going to pull it back out. All right, so now it's telling us we're ready to go. I have the fine point blade in place in clamp B. So I'm just going to click the go button. Let's see what happens. Going to move this, make sure we've got enough room. So obviously I put this on fast forward so that you could see this, but it is cutting relatively quickly. You can see as it cuts, it's spitting the cut vinyl out of the back and it's continuing to feed new vinyl into the front. Okay, when it's all done, you just use the cutter right here. And I'm just going to go around twice and eject. Here's my design coming out. And we are all cut. So I'm going to go ahead and weed this and show you how awesome this is. So we're not going to weed this whole thing on camera. It's just too hard to maneuver this on camera and keep everything in frame. But I did want to show you just how well this smart vinyl did cut and how easily it weeds. I was a little skeptical, but I'm pleasantly surprised. It's weeding really, really easily. Cut really well. There we go. So super easy to weed. I can show you here where I haven't weeded yet, just how easily it's weeding. Again, it's a little bit harder to, because these pieces are so big, you need to have scissors. That's just too much to manage on camera to get it all, but I don't want to get something stuck where I don't want it. So I'm just going to show you some of this weeding, but it does cut really, really nice, and it weeds really easily. Get that out of my way. So I'm going to finish weeding this off camera, and I'll show you what the finished project looks like. So as you can see, the Cricut Maker 3 really does make cutting long signs, long designs, long wall hangings very easy. You can do it all in one continuous cut. You can transfer it in one continuous cut. The Smart Vinyl also comes with the Smart Transfer Paper, which is in one continuous roll, so you can have it as long as you want. I may make the sign in another video. I really wanted this video to be about the Cricut Maker itself, but overall, I'm really happy that I have it. I do think it is a nice improvement to the original Cricut Maker. I think if you're in the market for a die cutting machine, this is definitely the machine that I personally would buy. If you already have a maker, do I think it's worth the upgrade? I think if you're a sign maker or somebody who would utilize this long Smart Vinyl, that it is an excellent upgrade. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click that bell so that you're notified every time there's a new video. I do have the designs linked in the description below the video if you're interested in that. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, never stop making. See ya. Bye-bye.